this year, so we're here. What this meeting is about is that we will go over what has been done at Morningside Manor as far as capital fund projects, which are the big ticket items to improve the livability of this property. And at the same time, we'll ask for some input as to things that you would like to see happen at Morningside Manor for the next year. We then gather all your input and we put it all together into the annual plan, which will be available in Denise's office or in the property management office sometime the first week of April. You will be able to check your questions, check the responses to those questions, and if you have any questions or comments regarding what we wrote in there, then you could always access our office or call me or Joel or Frederick, and we'll try to explain to you why it is that we wrote what we wrote. Keeping in mind that these programs are capped by the amount of money that we get from the federal government. So I understand that a lot of you might have ideas of doing some great things to Morningside Manor. And probably, you know, it might be something that we could look into. But for us, it's important for us to do things that are emergency and sustain the livability of everybody in this property. So for example, the roofs, and I'm not gonna go into all that, Joel will go into that. So keep your, while you could think big, understand that we're capped by how much money we get from the federal government, and we just don't have the capital to say we're going to come into Morningside Manor and turn it into a brand new building. I wish we could, but we can't. We just don't have that type of fund. Now, if you have issues regarding your specific unit, things that are in your unit that you need to have addressed, then when you speak, then just let us know your name and your unit number. We'll write that down, and it usually will get resolved through a work order, all right? So in other words, when you read the report that will be available in April, it'll say, and I'm just using an example, unit 500, right? There was a problem with the sink, and it'll say resolved by work order number blank, 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 all right? So
Is this to improve the building?
it is, yeah.
Does it cost us?
Yeah. Excuse me?
Is it gonna cost us?
Is it gonna cost you?
Yes.
No.
What if it's something already existing but needs improved?
Then you need to mention that so that we can write that down, all right? I will say that unfortunately I have another meeting at 3 o'clock, so I'll be leaving at 2:30. So if the meeting continues, there are representatives here that will take down your information, but unfortunately I have to be somewhere else at 3 o'clock. So I want to turn it over to Joe.
All right, good afternoon. I'll just take a few minutes and talk about what we call capital funds. That's a grant we receive from HUD every year from the public housing folks, and it is, like David said, used for the larger projects we do at all of our properties. We've been fortunate in the last few years, we've gotten around $4.5 million, a little more each year, but that gets divided up between all 8 developments. So you don't have always the liberty to spend huge amounts of money on one property at one time. And thinking about the projects we've done here at Morningside in the past that we use capital funds, if you've been around a while, we reworked the balconies and we reworked the storefront, which is the glass out front, those type of things, you know, some new windows and things here, even in this room here. And so that was a capital fund project. When we go in and do a wholesale replacement of appliances, refrigerators or ranges, that's generally paid for by capital funds.
What's happened to our one?
Well, we figure on appliances lasting so many years, and then we get when you buy a bunch in bulk or a larger number, then you generally get it at a better price.
Suppose they're okay.
Well, then maintenance may save it for a spare to use when somebody else's breaks down.
I mean, if mine is fine, what do you do about that?
We take it and we put it downstairs.
As a reserve.
Well, can't I just have what I got?
Well,
They already all been replaced, Pat, they're not gonna come in and replace yours now. All the refrigerators has been replaced as now, okay? Yours is fine now, it's fine. It's fine.
All right, and then, one thing we do is when, we have apartment units become vacant and there's a lot of repairs to be done in those apartments, maybe the floor tiles coming loose, the cabinets need to be replaced, we'll go in and do, you know, a turn on a unit. And capital funds will generally pay for that type of work. We also wanna, add another unit or two here at Morningside that, for people who require wheelchair accessibility. And so that's in the works as well.
That's gonna be hard.
It is kind of hard work, yes. And so, looking at what we've got in the plan, every year we create a 5-year plan. And the things that we get done, we take out, and then we add more things on each year. It's what they call a rolling plan, and every year we submit that to HUD for approval. And in the 5-year plan, we currently have to replace the heating boilers for here, and the domestic hot water boilers. Those are in the 5-year plan. We plan to replace we call them the fan coil units. It's the things in your apartment that provide the cooling. And those have been here a considerable amount of time, so those are
But heaters,
due to be replaced, yes, and are the cooling units.
plus they work our
Well, we can talk about that, we'll talk about that, okay? And then that work will cost enough, it'll probably be phased over a period of several years, you know, due to the cost of that. And then we, at some point, want to replace the windows that are in the apartment units. And those windows have been in here for quite a while. And some of them begin to look like maybe they're starting to fog up and the seal is broken on the thermopane. And so, it's in the 5-year plan to replace windows. So those are the things that we have. In a few minutes, we're gonna open it up, you all, we wanna hear, your ideas about the major projects, things that will affect as David said, the ability to continue to use this building to live in. We replaced the roof in years past, we've worked on the elevators in the year past. Those type of things have to be reworked every so often. So, that's what the capital fund is meant for. So we'll take your questions here in a little bit, and I'll turn it over to Frederick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Frederick Dussler, Director of Redevelopment and Revitalization with the Housing Authority. One of the things that I do is I manage most of our home ownership programs. I know that a lot of people here may not be interested in home ownership because you're renting and you're in a place and, limited income and so on. But if you or someone may be interested, I've got some applications and a business card up here. You do not have to be a public housing resident. You do not have to have a Section 8 voucher for these programs, other than obviously the Housing Choice Voucher Homeownership Program, which is specifically for voucher holders. But the other programs we have, you only have to be low income, which means you're under 80% of the average median income. And
What's that mean?
That means for a family of one, that would be $50,800. You'd have to, as a single person, you could not make more than that and be eligible. That's a HUD set number that we have for this region. A family of 3, you'd have to make under $65,280 a year. So that's the limit, the maximum. And if you make under that, you can still qualify for the home ownership programs. You also have to be a first-time home buyer, which in HUD's world means that you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. So that said, something that I think often people think that we can sell them a home when they have a poor credit history or they don't have any income. And neither is true. You still have to have some income, enough income that you're going to be able to pay your mortgage, keep up a house, and you have to have enough credit or good enough credit that a bank qualifies you. We do not make the loan. We work with people who refer them to lenders that provide services for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance. And we will work with anyone that can qualify for a loan to kind of meet you at the point you are. And right now, we have very limited, inventory. We only have one house available at the moment. May have two more available in the spring. We have one right now, on Melrose Avenue that's, under renovation. And, we could get an applicant qualified for that. It'd be great timing, because that one, should be ready in
How many bedrooms?
the next several months. 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. So, like I said, I have applications here and, business cards. If you're interested or think you know someone that's interested, feel free to grab one of these, after the meeting. Thank you.
Good. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Greg Goodman. I'm the Director of Community Support Services. First, thank y'all for coming out and giving your time and input. We definitely appreciate that. I work with Carisha and Latia. Many of you guys probably know them from the building and some of the activities that they do. So, what we're looking forward to this year is to provide even more services and activities. So certainly we would welcome your input on some things that you may want to see within the building, some activities that you might want to have happen. We're certainly open to ideas and suggestions, and we'll be happy to work with you. I know that we are working with the resident council over here right now too, and there's some new things happening with the council, and as far
Where's the
as
council meeting?
I'm sorry.
They didn't talk, and then what happened, they can understand.
So I'm not sure on when the next council meeting. Frank may be able to speak on that.
We have a meeting every, second Wednesday of the month.
What time?
We started at
Next Wednesday at 2. All right, perfect. So with that said, there is going to be a JRC election coming up
Next Wednesday,
at 2 p.m.
Come on, man. Let's get a comment.
So there's going to be a JRC election coming up. For those who are not aware, the JRC is the Joint Resident Council, which is elected officials from the Resident Council that are in essence over top of all of the councils. I know that the council here is running a little low on folks, so if you have an interest in your community and you have ideas and you want some things done, the council is a great way to get your ideas in motion. And I would be happy to work with y'all closely and hopefully get some of these ideas into the works. So again, thank y'all.
Well, I can tell you from my personal experience of being on the council of Morningside Manor, Greg Goodman is a liar. The resident council of Morningside Manor, the joint resident council as a whole, is a complete joke. Because Frank Brogman, however you pronounce his last name, and he prefers to have people call him Pastor Frank. He's not a pastor by any stretch of the imagination. He's a fraud. He loves to stay the president and was never elected after a couple times where he was reelected as the president, was never elected after that. It's always been rigged because he thrives on power and authority that he does not have. He bullies other residents. He acts like he owns this building. Greg Goodman, he had been assigned to get with me and some other residents here about Frank and whatnot, and things that he had done and whatnot, which have made this place miserable for people, for those who know the truth about it. And he promised that he would have an investigation done and he would get to the bottom of things. Guess what? All he did was he talked with Frank and pretty much told Frank he's got his back. Because at the JRC meeting, Greg, Frank, and the overseer of the whole Joint Resident Council, Dwayne Smith, turned it all on me to make me look like the bad guy. And I even called Frank out as the liar that he is to his face in that meeting. And that is why I have never had anything to say to Greg Goodman since. And Greg Goodman has no business being anywhere near Morningside Manor or Roanoke Redevelopment Housing Authority or the Vision Center, because He only helps who he favors. He does not care. Don't let him fool you.
You guys have anything to do with the city? I mean, like, for example, the sidewalks are frozen. We can't walk on the sidewalks. That should be something the city should take care of, I think. Anyway, we have to walk on the street.
Sure.
You got horns blowing at you, people shooting you the finger.
Yeah, I do realize right now, the sidewalks all throughout the city are in pretty rough shape. I would say, if that's an issue, definitely, speak to Denise
This
and.
seems like to me it'd be a city, I mean, just like you would go and plow the road. You
Sure.
That's logic to me.
And the city should be ideally, managing the sidewalks that are out in the city property. I think that they've struggled too. I don't know if it's a staff shortage or if it's a matter of, I think we got a lot more ice than they anticipated. But certainly, if you have issues with, walking around within the area, please let site management know.
It's not, they've done great here. I'm talking about when you get up that way.
Sure.
Get away from the building.
And there's always, and I don't have it with me, but there's a number that you could call the city.
I hope so.
And you could ask them, hey, is this gonna be potentially cleared off, or, what's
I
going
won't
on?
fall again.
Yeah,
And if I do fall again, we'll see.
well, hopefully you don't. Certainly, you're welcome to call the city and talk to them.
Thank you.
Hopefully that would be helpful.
Y'all did a lot of work up there the last year or so, putting them things in for people to walk on, up the road.
Sure.
And y'all did quite a lot of work around here. Fixing it up.
So let me just say this about the snow. We're not professional snow plowers.
I understand.
All right, we're not professional snow plowers. And could we have done a better job of plowing? I would say we probably could have, all right? That's just honesty. Second of all, this wasn't a snowfall, this was an ice
I understand that too.
situation. Wait, let me finish talking before you cut me off. And so what happens is that when you have issues of ice, immediately when somebody walks on something that's iced, it gets compacted, okay? You drive on something that has ice, it gets compacted. Our blades from our trucks and our blades from our shovels are not gonna be able to get that out. Now, could we have done a better job of probably laying out salt and doing other things, preparing for that? You're probably right, we could have. At this point in time, I can tell you that there are pieces of ice in front of my house, in my driveway, right? So it's not an excuse, it's just a reality. It was a situation where we had a lot of ice, and unfortunately, we were not as prepared for it as we probably should have been, all right? But we learned. So now, for the next time, hopefully we'll do a much better job.
David, I actually drive a car around here, actually drive, and I think you did a good job. I really do. They put the salt down, next day it snowed, the road wasn't bad.
These guys try, but again, they're not professional.
Everybody parks right there, you can't do it, because you're gonna mess the car up.
All right, so,
You do it.
this is the opportunity that we open the floor up for all of you to, give us some suggestions on, what you think we need here at Morningside Manor.
Nothing. You know what I would like? I have more, like, okay, karaoke for example. Why can't we do something like that? That would be awesome for us to do. I mean, we have these great apartments, I do it. But it'd be something for us to get out and do.
All right, hey, listen, please. We can't have everybody talking when one person is talking. So if you're done with the meeting and you wanna excuse yourself, have a great day. But if somebody's talking, let's respect everybody so that we can hear what they're saying, we can document what they're saying, and we can properly respond to what they're saying, all right?
Thank you.
So karaoke, I think that we could add that to the
That
list,
sounds,
and
I think
we'll,
it'd be awesome.
Sure.
And then more bingo, I think, because we all, I don't know about anybody else, but I love bingo. Whether you win anything or not.
Well, we've also been talking about other projects like a craft, with craft of movie night.
Yeah.
There was something else. Mary thinking about something to do in the spring, like out here, have like a little,
A swimming pool.
garden area.
Well, I can tell you right now.
I'm just kidding.
I think these are all good ideas. My suggestion, is to write it down. And, if you don't know Carisha, I'll be happy to introduce you to her after the meeting. Give her those ideas and I'm sure she would be happy to implement them. I mean, these all sound very doable.
And we'll respond to them as well as part of the plan, so you'll be able to see what our responses are to those issues.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Hey, as far as, now badly, we need the cameras fixed in this building. There's none outside, you got one, it's a mess in it, and it's bad. Inside, we don't have half the cameras work, and there's been a lot of thieves going on around here lately. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
We gotta have them cameras.
We had the same meeting yesterday at Melrose Towers, and it's the same issue with the cameras. We've applied for, I would say probably four grants, was it? Or four grants?
At least three.
3 grants, to try to get the funding to get these cameras. We need to figure out a way to get them working. So
Right.
most definitely, we'll write that down in the plan. Yes, ma'am, you had a question.
What about that crack, and the cement, for the snack machines and drink machines?
That's inside the building, Denise?
Yes.
This crack, this field and everything. This crack in the floor, they not, you can't trip
Right,
over.
we'll write it down, we'll take a look at it, and if it's something that we can fix, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Okay? You have anything else to say?
I just don't want nobody to fall and get hurt.
I agree with you, 100%. Yes,
How do we, go about keeping people who not live here and people letting them in, the homeless or whatever, because that's endangering our lives.
Mhm.
If they're letting people in that shouldn't be here,
Mhm.
especially after the guards leave.
do you know who they are?
No, I don't necessarily.
Well, I think that everybody should be aware that letting anybody into the building that doesn't live in the building, you've made yourself responsible for that individual, right? So again, if the cameras were ideally working, right? You let somebody in that doesn't live here, that person commits a crime, you just lost your house. Right? Because everybody that's a tenant in this building is responsible for their guests. And your guest is anybody that you let into this building. If you let them in here, they belong to you. Right? They commit a crime, they smoke, they steal, they do drugs, whatever it is, that's on you. So you're putting your unit, your tenancy at risk for letting these people in. So we're going to, Denise and I will discuss this and we'll do something about it. But I think the primary thing is that we definitely need to get the cameras back up and running. And by the way, you guys live here. You live here every day, you're here Saturdays, you're here at night, you're here weekends. There's this thing about I don't want to be a snitch. While that may apply in some other type of institution, it doesn't apply here, right? Somebody's doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, then you need to report it to Denise. You need to walk into the office, tell Denise, this person that lives here, or this person's name, did this. Because how else would we know? If you do not do that, that person or those people believe it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to say anything anyway. So they just keep on doing it. So I'm not asking you to go out of your way to get into other people's business, but if you see it, I don't need for you to stop it. I need for you to report it. Does that make sense?
I tell them all the time that, when they do the complaint forms, even if they name on it, I'm not gonna tell.
Very
When I
true.
address the issue to the person, I'm not gonna say, for instance, Frank came and told me that you did this. I'm gonna say, I have numerous reports about this is going on, what's going on with you. So I'm I'm addressing like that, even if I ain't got but one complaint, but I think it's a serious issue that I should address, I'ma still say I got numerous complaints about it.
And let me just, now that we're on this topic, I wanna say this as well. There is no smoking in this building. Right? And there's been times when I walk through this building and I know that there's somebody smoking in this building. I mean, I don't have to, I mean, I could smell it. I could also smell skunks in this building. Right? So, if you're smoking anything, and I don't care what it is, and you're in this building, you're putting yourself at risk to lose your tenancy. If you get a letter that says, you know, it's coming from your unit, you're facing eviction, don't start to call me telling me that you didn't know. It's written all over the place. This is a no smoking environment. There's no drugs in this building. You can't be drinking in the lobby. You can't be drinking outside. All right? This is a place for somebody to live and enjoy the community. Right? So if you see that, if you smell that, you report it. If it's coming from your neighbor, report it. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be doing that. All right, go ahead. Anybody else?
And I have been addressing them issues, and it's been a number of tenants that got 2130.
Mostly on weekends, after the niece and them leaves, they had a party on the 5th floor, had 7 people in there, and you could smell that crack coming out of there. I said, my God. The boy come over
First time I'm hearing about that one, so.
But they all float,
Ain't
they're all,
But see, that's the
I just
thing.
walk by, yeah.
On Monday, when Denise gets back, then she needs to understand that this is.
I can tell her report and everything, but it was due there. He told me, he said, look, and they was filled, and you smell it.
You know, again, you guys live here. You gotta take care of your community. You know, we do the best that we can while we're here, but again, we're not here, 24 hours a day. You guys are.
That's on the weekend, that's what's wrong.
Yes, Frank.
You know, the thing is, Denise encouraged them, I encourage them, write them up. She can't do nothing if somebody don't write them up. We can tell her all day long that something's going on. But if we don't put it on paper, she can't do nothing. So if y'all see it, put it on paper. You know, Denise don't live here, we do. She can take care of the problem if y'all do what you need to do.
But even if it's a serious matter, something like that, you might not write it down, then I'm gonna encourage you to go ahead and write it up. But I'm still got that in my mind, I need to check on this, or I already made my own mental note about that I should check, especially if it's a serious, I know it's a serious violation that I need to handle. And when, as soon as I see that person, I would be telling Frank and them too, y'all might not know that I didn't address the issue, but I have addressed the issue.
And also, if Denise is not here and there is something going on, tell me and I will be led to Denise. That's why I'm in there. Y'all come to me with complaints, I will address it to Denise as well.
All right, anybody else have any other, improvements that you believe we need for Morningside Manor?
The dog situation.
What's going on with the dogs?
Dog all defecating all over the back door. Now they done cleaned a lot up there, now they go up around the door. Instead of going up in the field with they know you're not supposed to take them out there and use the bathroom. But it is bad. That is anywhere, and they're not picking it up.
That's another issue where I have said, if anybody see them, let me know, because you know, if we can tell whose dog is who, or you see the person with their dog, we know that dog, because then we can charge them for cleaning up there. And I have charged dogs for them only not doing it. But you gotta let me know, and I'm not gonna even charge you, but I'm gonna send them a notice that they have to, and that, which I have done also too, let them know that their dog have to go up to a proper spot.
The backyard, you can walk out that door and see it, the snow,
and they always tell y'all that Denise said I could do it.
Yeah,
Y'all know better.
Denise
Y'all know right
said, I know better. I know better than that.
You know, Denise, I said something one other night. She said, Denise and I can go out the front door.
Yeah.
I said, which then, I was Denise ain't would say you go out the front door with your dog.
I use the bathroom, they can go out the front door with the dog, but not let the
I
dog
told you.
out there.
Right down the walkway.
right, you know what they said there.
How are
Somebody
the,
should be over there, that's something I parked, like that, where it's dry right there,
Yeah.
and let me use the bathroom, the other day I watched it.
Yeah. Did you come and tell me?
No, you wouldn't hear it, but I know, you wouldn't hear it,
Nobody needs to know about that.
I watched him do it.
Just let me know.
If they just pick it up, they won't pick it up, they just.
are the lights working in the back?
Uh,
The lights aren't working? No. We'll make sure we get that.
That camera that night there got a nest in it right there.
And how about the light in the front? Is the light in the front working?
Oh, we got lights on, the light on
And
the
down the
side,
sidewalk.
we got lights on the side.
So it's just the ones in the back?
You know which one?
But nobody sees it.
Sometimes there's one or two lights out in the front that click on and off, so it must be on a time saver or something.
Is there, anybody having any issues with their apartments, their units that we need to address? You having an issue?
Yeah, the exhaust fans,
Exhaust fans? What is your unit number?
504.
504.
I have asked when I put an order when I first moved in, and I asked her about it. She said it has to do on the roof. Mine has never worked since I've been here.
The exhaust fans, they just vent air out, they don't like come on and do anything like that. If you flip them up, you just gonna let the air go out. It's
Right.
not something that they can come in, it's got a motor, it's
Okay.
gonna run, anything like it, it's just vent stuff out. They don't run like that.
Your roof, the fans on the roof run supposed to run all the time. It's constantly supposed to be blowing air out of your unit all the time. And so, if there's a fan on the roof that's not working, then we need to know about that so we can get it repaired. But you have air constantly being drawn out of your unit, whether it's in the kitchen or the bathroom, and it's being pulled out through the, roof of the building.
Man, now the big problem, the pipe like they're leading that tank, we're not getting it because something happened to it, it's leaking into the soil around it, so I wonder what they're gonna do about that.
We've had it tested, there's nothing in the soil.
There's nothing in the soil, it's been leaking a long time.
Well, the leak, if it was one, was very minor.
Right,
But
okay,
we've had the soil tested.
so it's all right, so it's not, okay, good. So I thought they're gonna have to dig it all out.
No.
Okay,
The only thing you gotta do is put in new fuel lines from the
Okay, good.
tank to the generator.
You got lucky.
Yeah, very fortunate.
Good. And that is what, the air conditioning
No, that's the fuel tank to run your generator.
generator, okay, yeah, it's not working, okay. Okay, all right.
What?
When I first moved in, the air conditioning didn't work, so I don't know if it's working out or not now.
Is it? I think we do.
What we have is there's another part we put on the chiller out back, but the chiller is set so that it doesn't run in the wintertime. In other words, if it's 20 degrees outside, you normally don't need air conditioning.
So it's on.
And so it's designed such that it just doesn't run when it's that cold. And so it won't, in the middle of the winter, it's not gonna be run.
When they turn it on, back on.
I don't know whether it's a
Just
certain
when it
day or
gets
not,
warm.
it's governed by, it's actually
Well-
probably governed by something automatically, when the air temperature gets a certain point, it'll
Oh,
be
okay.
where it cuts off.
Okay, that makes sense.
What a mystery.
Who do you put in if like you got an idea for something to do like activity wise and stuff? You just, you.
Lucretia. Yeah, Carisha, her office is over there, by the vending machines and
Okay,
the lobby.
that's the name, Teresa.
Yeah, and if she's not there, I would suggest, you can just put a note on it.
You can tell me.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do some of the tie-dye, we did one year with hangers and that was fun.
Okay.
Tie-dye, and everybody brings their own white shirts to fit.
Yeah.
And do that, it's good, and we all go outside on the lawn there, do them on the bench, so we can get nothing else.
Sounds good.
It's real fun.
Yeah, if you've got an idea, just, it sounds like she's got an idea box. Just throw it in there, we're happy to look at it.
It's a tie-dye that can't fit in front, and everybody gets that, they can make them shirt they like.
Yeah, sounds good.
I see it, David.
Electricity is about to-
Anybody else?
I did not bring anything up in this meeting because the last time I had brought some major things that were going on to David Bustamante and someone else who used to work for Roanoke Redevelopment and Housing Authority at the time. After she left, David Bustamante just didn't flat want to deal with anything. He made that perfectly clear to me. And not only did I let Roanoke Redevelopment and Housing Authority know about the corruption of the management in this building, where Denise Stanley is not very nice, and she still tries to rule with an iron fist like she did before. She just tries to do things a little differently than before, but she has not fooled me one bit. She needs to be gone because she treats people like they're not even human. But yet when other things are brought up that need to be brought up to her that she's not taking care of the way she should, she tries to dodge it. That has been said by so many residents, and I've caught her doing that myself. So she needs to be gone. Permanently. Frank Brogman needs to be gone. Permanently. The only way I will ever have anything to do with the Joint Resident Council or the Resident Council of Morningside Manor ever again, the entire thing, there needs to be a brand new overseer and everyone gone, started all over. Then maybe I'll have something to do with it again. Because I refuse to work with corruption. Corruption, favoritism, everything in between. I even sent letters to every member on the Roanoke City Council. It was before the new mayor, because the new mayor he wasn't the mayor yet. He was, I forget what they call him, the person who's right underneath the mayor. That's who he was at the time. I sent all of them letters of what's been going on. Housing Authority's not doing anything about it. And when it comes to the Joint Resident Council, the city is the one that put them in place. Roanoke City government did. One person who was on the council at the time, the city council, Roanoke City Council, was trying to look into it. She got blocked. And then the person who is now the mayor, Joe Cobb, wrote me a letter mocking me. So I have no faith in anything being done at this point until a whole new management of Roanoke Redevelopment Housing Authority, Envision Center, Joint Resident Council, everything just redone.
All right, so I want to thank all of you for coming today. Like I said, we will get all this information and answer all these questions and put them all into a plan and have them in Denise's office, I would say at probably the first week of April. If you go home now and you remember something that you didn't say here, email me, let Denise know, she'll let us know. And again, guys, you know, it's very important that you guys take control of your community here. You know, stuff that isn't supposed to be happening isn't supposed to be happening. And we need to know about it so that we can take the appropriate action and get those individuals living someplace else. All right? Mm-hmm. So again, thank you all for coming, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you all.